And let's go. I am hype. Okay, the hypeness that I'm at right now is about 60% of the hype that you're gonna get in the next. Because the next one, y'all, is not my next video, although I think what I'm reviewing after this is gonna be really good, but the next in this series is like one of my favorites of the entire series, so get ready for it. Okay, wow, what have I done to this poor book? It's like bent up and all fucked up. Okay, hey y'all. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Reviews. My name's Candace, and I really appreciate y'all joining me for another episode. What the fuck are you saying, Richard? That's not bad shipping, okay? I got a text from my husband because I told him that I bought some books on eBay, and I was like, hey, I only spent $55. Such a good deal, right? For what I bought, it was a good deal. Should I have told him? Probably not. Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I already said that, but whatever. My name is Candace, and I'm your host of What the Smut Book Reviews. In today's video, we're going back to IAD. Okay. I know it seems like I'm powering through this series. And I am. I could say that it's because I haven't read anything else, or I could say it's because of blah, blah, whatever. I just fucking love these books. And I need to share my love for these books with you guys, because I trust that at least a few of you actually listen to me when I tell you to read shit. So I'm telling you to read this shit. Okay? Okay. So. Look at that. Oh shit. How did I never notice that before? Okay. I posted on Instagram recently that I moved like 2 times. I used to have the entire IAD series. For those of you not familiar, IAD is short for Immortals After Dark. And it is a paranormal romance series by author Kresley Cole, who's like my favorite author. And I had the entire series in paperback format. I think they were all mass market, which is fine. And between 2 moves and several storage units and et cetera, and trusting my mom with my stuff, half of them that went missing. So I think they either got damaged or like water, like whatever, or they got lost, or what are you gonna do? So I recently went on Amazon. I could have gotten a lot from eBay. Like I went on eBay and I checked, and they had like some like Kresley Cole lots, like a lot of books, not like a lot of books, but like a lot of books. And that would have been fine, but I would have gotten doubles of some of the ones that I already had, and I didn't want to do that if I was going to pay money for them. So I just bought them each individually from Amazon, considering the fact that most of them, the mass market paperback was like $6.99. Okay, come on. So I did that, and they came in, and I went to Instagram, and I was like, oh shit, y'all. My IAD series is now complete up to Monroe, which I'm still waiting for. And I don't know when it's coming out. And like, no rush, Kresley, but if I could get that, that'd be really good, because I need it. So I have read all of these books several times. But to accurately review them for you guys, and so they're super fresh in my mind, I have been doing a reread, which is why I'm cranking them out like this, because I'm doing that as I'm actively rereading, because I can breeze through a book I've already read much faster than I can something that I've never read and it's the first time I'm reading it. and my brain has to like process everything. But like if you're reading a book you've already read, you're like, fuck, I already know what's gonna happen in this part. Like it's the dialogue, just details. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know. So the book we're going to talk about today is this holographic gorge right here. And it is called Demon from the Dark. I'll be honest. If you ask me, like, hey, what IAD books stick out in your mind? Like immediately. Like which ones would you say are like your... Okay. Conrad and Naomi's book. And I'm going to give you the couples because I can't for the life of me like recall like just off the top of my head what the titles are. Conrad and Naomi. Regan and Declan. Regan and Declan / Aiden. Okay, you know, if you know, you know. Rune and Josephine. And I want to say, I don't know, maybe Lothair. I don't know. But, okay. This one, I remember reading. I remember loving. But for some reason, Caro wasn't the first, like, she's not one of the ones that I'm immediately like, you know. But for a lot of people, I've heard that she is. So who knows? She might be your girl. Okay. So I will read you guys the blurb as soon as I give you the fucking details of the book because that's important, isn't it? Like, I'm all out of whack. Okay. This is IAD book 10, according to Amazon. It has 452 pages. You can get it right now for your Kindle or Nook for $7.99. You can get the mass market paperback. The mass market paperback. This one. It may have a new cover on it because they did get revamped covers. But this size, for scale, I have a huge face, but whatever. $6.79. Brand new on Amazon. What is the fucking point? Like, I don't get it. Okay. Buy the book. Unless you don't own any books in a library. You don't have your own little stash or your own little collection. And you only read on a Kindle or something, then of course do what you do. But if you do have books and you collect authors you like, buy the fucking book. Do not download the digital download, okay? You can get this book in hardcover for $27.44, which is an extremely odd number. But whatever, it's new on Amazon for that price. You can get it used on eBay for about $4.50 with free shipping. So dealer's choice, whatever you want to do. I will read you guys the blurb and then we'll break it down. And then I'll give you my rating. Okay. This blurb also does similar to other previous Kresley blurbs. Previous Kresley blurbs, which have like that bold font, like a little sentence in bold font with a ... at the end that leads into like the, you know. So it says, a dangerous demon she can't resist. Okay. Malcolm slain, tormented by his sordid past and racked by vampiric hungers, he's pushed to the brink by the green-eyed beauty under his guard. And then in bold again, a maddening witch he aches to claim. Carol Gray, hiding her own sorrows, she lives only for the next party or prank, until she meets a tortured warrior worth saving. And then again in bold, trapped together in a savage prison. In order for Malcolm and Caro to survive, he must unleash both the demon and vampire inside him. When Malcolm becomes the nightmare his own people feared, will he lose the woman he craves, body and soul? Okay. This is obviously a paranormal romance. Paranormal, not contemporary. Okay. The two main characters are Malcolm and Caro. Caro is a witch. She is from the House of Witches. Her coven is located in New Orleans, where a lot of the Lorians center around in almost all of these books. She is best friends with Mariquetta the Awaited, who was a witch from a previous book. If you haven't read that book, you can go back and watch my review for that one. What the fuck is it called? Winter's Night, something. I forget. Anyway, it's back there. Just read the blurb or whatever. So yeah, so she's best friends with Mariquetta. And this book is the quintessential book that begins the segue from individual storylines into one large arcing storyline. Does that make sense? So at the end of the last book in the series, which was Lucia's book, Lucia and Gareth, at the end of that book, we saw certain members of the lore being systematically abducted by a very mysterious figure with an Irish brogue. Basically like tased, bagged and tagged, and kidnapped. This book shows you where they're taken and begins to divulge why. Okay? So Caro is one of those beings that has been kidnapped. She's been taken to an island in the middle of the ocean with no way to get off, basically. And she has been imprisoned in a facility that is run by something called the Order. It is a faction of mortals, like military grade mortals, who are hell-bent on essentially like destroying the entire supernatural world. Okay. It's tale as old as time, right? Like, you got like slayers, you got demons, you got slayers, vampires, you got slayers, right? Okay. The leader of the Order, not really the leader, he's like the sub-leader, but he's the leader of this installation, this location, is a guy by the name of Declan Chase. He's got like an slight Irish accent. He has kidnapped Caro. And she's like, why the fuck am I here? And they've strapped a torque, which is like a collar around her neck that subdues her powers. So she can't fight back. They've done that to all of the beings that they've kidnapped. So basically neutralizing any powers they may have. She's like, why am I here? And he's like, we know that you guys are secretly trying to destroy mankind. And she just like laughs in his face. Like, are you fucking joking? You guys are so beneath us. We don't even care. Why am I here? And he's like, we have killed a witch from your coven named Amanda. She had a daughter named Ruby. We've kidnapped her. We know that even though like all the witches in the coven are like distantly related or like have some kind of familial connection, she is like your direct cousin. And so you're closer to her than you are to some of the other witches. We have Ruby. We will torture and kill her. No problem. Unless you complete a task for us. She's like, fuck. Well, I guess I don't have a choice. What do you want me to do? We're going to send you through a portal to another realm, dimension, whatever, plane, whatever you want to call it. What the fuck is the name of the plane? I want to say Obsidian. That's not right. Oblivion. Okay. There's a man there who's not really a man. He's half demon, half vampire. He's basically like, if they see normal demons or normal vampires as abominations, he's like an abomo. Like, he's a twofer. In the lore, creatures who are already considered abominations would say that a half demon, half vampire is an abomination. So they're like, we just need you to go, convince him to come back to the location where we will reopen the portal for you in 1 week, because we want him. So you get him for us. And she's like, okay, how am I going to get him? And whatever. Like, and they're like, use your wiles on him, girl, whatever. Do what you got to do. So she's like, all right, well, I guess I don't have a choice. I'll see what I guess I got to go. So her friend Lanthy, who has an upcoming book, has also been kidnapped. And they deactivate her torque long enough for her to create a portal. Lanthy is a member of the Sorcerer, so she has like magic powers. And she opens a portal to Oblivion, and they deactivate Caro's torque for the time that she's there, so that she can use her powers to save herself if she has to or whatever. Caro's powers are derived from happiness. She gets like juice from her environment. So if someone near her is experiencing joy, she can siphon that, and she can like a host, basically. Like she takes their, it doesn't make them less joyful or less happy. She just feeds off of that energy, right? So they deactivate her torque. She goes through the portal. Oblivion is a wasteland. There's no water. There's like very little water. There's water in like underground mines, and the mines are being controlled by this Neanderthal of a man named Malcolm. Malcolm is a very complicated character. Malcolm was a blood slave and a sex slave in his youth. He was made to do things to like vampire masters, sexual things, and his, you know what I'm saying, like pedophilic type stuff. So he has very deep self-hatred going on. He was also he was kind of saved from that life by his best friend, who was the prince of like the demonarchy that resides in this like realm. And he was basically told, this prince took a liking to him and made him feel like he was worth something, and he became like his second in charge general type, you know what I mean? And he was like his best friend. The vampires attack because they're betrayed by one of their own kind, a demon by the name of I think it's like Ronath or something. They're attacked. They're captured. They're subsequently turned into, what's the word that they use? There's like a derogatory term that's used for half demon, half vampires. I can't remember what it is right now, but they're essentially turned into those creatures, and then they're locked together in a cell, and they're basically the vampire overlord. It's called, I think it's like the Viceroy, basically says, we're going to throw you guys together. We're not going to feed either of you. And we're going to wait for you to turn on each other. And the prince, and obviously the weaker of the two men, tries to like attack and drink Malcolm first. And Malcolm, in turn, has to kill his best friend to survive. So he hates himself. He then breaks out of the prison that he's in, murders the Viceroy, goes on the run, has now taken control of the water mines, and is slowly thirsting all of the demons who turn their back on him. He's slowly thirsting them to death. So that's Malcolm. Malcolm used to know bits of English, but he refused to speak it because it was the language that was spoken by the vampires. So he speaks exclusively Demonish. Kara does not speak a lick of Demonish. Like, she knows how to curse and like order shots, and that's about it. So you can imagine when they first run into each other, there's a strong language barrier throughout the majority of the book. Little does Caro know that somehow the Order captured her specifically and sent her on this mission specifically because she is Malcolm's bride. Because he's half vampire, he can be blooded by his fated female. And then he comes into even greater strength and powers and whatever. And the Order wants him so that they can examine him and figure out what makes him tick, so that then they can figure out later on how to either weaponize him or eradicate the rest of his species. Okay. So she meets Malcolm in the woods, and she bloods him. His heart starts beating. He realizes, like, you're my girl. She doesn't understand a fucking thing he's saying. He doesn't understand a fucking thing she's saying. She tries to run from him because she's like, you're psycho. I gotta go. He eventually catches her, and he like inadvertently injures her a couple of times, which makes him feel bad, and pisses her off. But then she comes to realize, like, she keeps reminding herself, like, you're doing this for Ruby. You have to save Ruby. Ruby will die if you don't do this. So over the course of the book, they form an attachment. She comes to have feelings for Malcolm. Malcolm comes to trust her, whereas he has not trusted anyone in ever. Even beginning from, like, his mother, who turned him over to the vampires or sold him to the vampires to be used and abused. So now he trusts Caro, and Caro's getting ready to betray him, which he doesn't know. She's vacillating with that, but having to use Ruby as the justification for why she has to continue on that path. Eventually, he agrees to go with her through the portal, not knowing what's on the other side. He follows her through the portal after she has helped him kill Ronoth. He follows her through the portal. Her torque is immediately reactivated. He is immediately captured. He goes berserkos, loses it, but is taken down and imprisoned by the Order. So now she's back in the Order under the promise that if she delivered Malcolm, her and Ruby would be set free. But, you know, you can't trust fucking bad guys, right? Like, they betrayed her and they were like, no, we're not letting you go. So it's all for nothing. Malcolm has literally lost his mind, because now he's thinking, like, Caro betrayed me, my female betrayed me, I have to make her pay now. So he has, like, legit hate for her. He doesn't know up to that point, like, who Ruby is and what that situation is. He does later find out, and for a chunk of time he's like, I understand why you did what you did, but I still can't forgive or trust you. She only wants to make it up to him. Something happens. Something catastrophic happens on the island, which allows the island erupts into, like, bedlam. Like, it just mayhem. Prisoners are escaping, and the bad factions of the Lord, the baddies, the evil ones, their torques are disengaged and fall off. Whereas all of the good beings still have their torques and their powers are bound. And so there's, like, easy pickings. Everybody's running from everybody. Malcolm goes after Caro, sees the rubies there, says, I'll protect both of you. But low-key, I still hate you, girl. You know what I'm saying? They go on the run across the island. They're in hiding, trying to, like, just get away from everybody else because they don't want to get killed by crazies. While all of this is going on, Mariquetta and a bunch of other factions that ally with the House of Witches are trying to get Mari to scry for the location of the island that's been mystically hidden, and no one can find it. Low-key, they do not know that Nyx. If you've read the series, or you know who I'm talking about, Nyx is a very powerful Valkyrie soothsayer. She sees the future, and she's single-handedly behind the scenes steering all of this. And she knows where the island is, and she's been to the island. And they think certain characters in these books think they have seen her flitting through the island, when apparently nobody else is able to reach the island. And she's given Mari some like very cryptic hints about how she can go about locating the island with her witchcraft or with her magic. Finally, she does. She enlists Conrad, who is a vampire who can trace from a previous book. She enlists him to use the coordinates, trace to the island, find Caro and Ruby, and bring them back. He does. Eventually, he does find them. He brings them back. By this time, Malcolm is like knee deep in the shit. He's like fighting a whole slew of gross, like zombie type whatevers. And he sees a vampire who he thinks to be his natural enemy at Caro's back. Not knowing that he's really a good vampire. He loses it. The vampire then traces away with Caro and Ruby. He loses it some more. And when he became, he used to have the ability to trace as a demon. But when he became a half demon, half vampire, and his demon side was corrupted by his vampire side, he lost the ability to trace. So he, up to this point, does not believe that he has the ability to trace. But from drinking from Caro, he has absorbed some of her memories, and he's seen parts of her life in New Orleans. So he, like, essentially, like, uses the Force and, like, mind fucks himself into using her memories as locations to force himself to trace off the island to where that is, because he has to find his girl now. Like, by this time, he's like, where's my woman? He's losing his mind. He traces to New Orleans. He manages to do it, and he finds Caro in the main coven house, and before she knows that he's there, he overhears her flipping out to Mariquetta that she needs to get back to the island to save Malcolm because she's in love with him and she's blah, blah, blah. And he overhears this and he's like, you love me? Like, I'll never distrust you again. You're my boo, right? So yeah, so that's essentially the premise of, like, that's how the book leads off, is that now all of these other factions that are at the coven who have missing loved ones who have been abducted by the Order, they want to know what happened to their people. So they're like, now that all hell is broken loose on the island, are our people still alive? One of those people who was abducted was Regan the Radiant. She's a Valkyrie, and like an all-around prankster. And she's been abducted. And spoiler alert, her book is the next one. Whoa, like, it's one of my favorite ones from the whole series. So yeah, so that's the end of the book, and they all lived happily ever after. And Caro essentially adopts Ruby, and now she has like a little step demon, and you know, like I mean, like, Ruby has a step demon like Malcolm, not the other guy. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. And yeah, so that's it. IAD, bro, IAD. So, the next few books, at least at the beginning, start on the island. Or like at the capture of that particular character, and then on the island. So the island plays a very predominant, like, and the whole Order and like everything, it will be prevalent in the next at least like 3 or 4 books. For the rating for the book, I gave it a 9, solid 9, because like I said, I loved it. It's part of the series that I love, but it wasn't one of my like, whoa books. I did enjoy it. Like, I feel like the more times I read it, the more I like it, if that makes sense. And yeah, I would highly recommend, in every video I say this, I would highly recommend that you guys pick up this book, and I would highly recommend that you guys pick up this whole series and just love it and read it and just own them, because they're amazing. If you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, you can. I do have a members only Facebook group, an Instagram, and a Twitter devoted to this channel. I will link them down in the description box below, and I will leave a little banner on the screen right here for you to see. And yeah, I think that's it. There may not be a lot of bloopers because I kind of like pounded through this bitch. I love you guys so much. I really thank you so much for watching another video. I love you, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Racked by vampiric until she meets a tortured warrior. Oh God, why can't I talk today? Like, I can't. Everything I say is bad. Everything I do is bad. Okay. He's like, oh my God, my lipstick looks so bad. Okay, we're gonna pause this. Wait right there, baby. You wait right there. You okay, baby? All right, mommy's almost done. Just a few more minutes. Okay. Few more minutes, okay? You guys are fucking foul, okay? How could you sit there and let me continue talking for that long with my lipstick looking like that, okay? Rude. Okay. Where the fuck was I at? Okay, anyway, so Declan is interrogating Caro. She's like, why am I here? There's lipstick on my finger.
Mommy, my tablet died.
Can you go plug it in?
No.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. You can do it.
You can do it.
No, I can't.
Okay, can you go play in your room? Give me 10 minutes and then I'll come do it. Okay? You take it with you. Just take it with you.
I'm not.
You don't want to? You're going to leave it here? Okay. You play in your room with your dolls or something and I'll come charge you for you in a minute.
Okay.
Gracias.
Nada.
Okay. So,